We have a special episode today. We're stepping away from the sweet baked goods and we're whipping up something savory and oh so delicious. Green onion pancake, or toyobing in Chinese, is very well known and traditional, and something that you must order at all the Chinese restaurants, especially in dim sum. I like my green onion pancakes thin, flaky, and soft with tons of green onions. If you like to see how this can be done at home, then keep on watching. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and comment below and let me know if you try out this recipe. Now let's get into the video. We're starting with 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and give that a quick mix. Add in a 1/3 cup of boiling water, followed by a 2/3 cup of room temperatured water. Give that a good mix. You're now going to mix the dough with your hands. Patiently bring the flour mixture together and knead the dough. This is a great arm workout and eventually you'll end up with something like this. It doesn't need to be perfectly smooth. We'll work with it again later. So this looks good. Cover with a lid and let it rest for 20 minutes. It's been 20 minutes and as you can see here, the dough is quite soft. Drizzle about 1 teaspoon of oil onto the dough and knead it again until most of the oil is absorbed. Now that the oil has disappeared, you're going to make 6 smaller balls of dough as evenly as you can. I didn't do a very good job here, but it just means you'll have different sizes of pancakes later. Get your cutting board ready. We're now going to roll the dough. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Just roll them so they form into these logs. Then flatten them by pressing down with the palm of your hand. Have a plate ready. Drizzle some oil and place the dough onto the plate. Make sure you coat the entire dough in oil. Repeat the same steps for the remaining 5 pieces of dough. Cover the plates and let them rest for 2 hours. I know this seems like such a long time, but you can watch a show, read a book, exercise, do some work, and get a snack. Now we're making, I guess you can call it a sauce, and it's completely optional, but in my opinion, it's very necessary to enhance the green onion flavor. Grab a bowl and add a 1/4 spoon of salt, 1.5 tablespoons of flour, 3 stalks of green onions, and chop finely. Add about 2/3 of the amount into the bowl with the salt and flour. Next thing you'll do is heat up about 3 to 4 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You need an oil that can stand the high heat. Wait until you start to see a little bit of smoke coming off the pot. Take it off the heat and carefully drizzle it on top of the green onion mixture. Mix well. You should hear the sizzle after you pour the oil and you should smell the fragrance from the green onions right away. Bring back one of the long flat strips of dough. Grab your rolling pin and roll it back and forth like I'm doing here. Add the green onion sauce onto the dough. You can add as much as you want. I love green onions, so I smear a whole lot of this sauce on and add in the fresh green onions as well. If you don't feel like making the sauce, you can just sprinkle on the freshly chopped green onions here. Start by pressing down the corners and fold the dough. As you fold, make sure you press down to get rid of the air bubbles that may be trapped here. Keep going until you get to the end. Close the flap. Give it one last press to ensure there are no air bubbles. And flip it over. Squeeze the 4 corners and give it one final press with the palm of your hand. We squeeze the 4 corners just to make sure the dough is round when you press down. There's no science here. This is the final step before we put them into the pan. Just simply roll them out to fit the size of your pan as thin as possible. As you roll them in all directions, the green onions may squeeze out of the dough. You can either just roll them into the dough or leave them behind. Finally, for the cooking part, spray some oil into your pan. I'm just using this because it's easy and evenly distributed. Put the pancake in and spread it with your fingers so that it fits nicely into the pan. Cover with a lid. We're using both the heat and steam to cook the pancake. The total time should only be 2 to 3 minutes, but you want to flip it every 30 to 45 seconds. We're getting a great look here. You can see the pancake is puffing up, and when you flip it over, you should see some beautiful brown charred spots. They add even more flavor to the pancakes. After 2 to 3 minutes, this pancake is completely cooked. Place it on a plate and continue with the rest. So these pancakes just came out of the pan, and I want to show you the flakiness and the layers in each of the pancakes. So as you can see, even though we roll this super thin, you can still see the individual layers in here. And that's the most important part in a really good green onion pancake. You want to see the flakiness. It's got a better chew when you actually taste it. And when you rip it apart, you can see the consistency in the green onions throughout the pancake. And very important, it's not oily. We didn't put extreme amount of oil in here, so it's on the healthier side. And as always, my favorite part, I'm gonna taste it now that we play with it. Soft. I really love the green onion flavors, and I think adding that oil to the green onion mixture with the flour and salt, the green onion flavor really comes out when you make it that way. It tastes like restaurant quality, I'm serious. One of my favorite foods of all time.